Do women and men view transparency the same? Like, do we think we are operating off of the same definition? And again, it's very heteronormative, right? But if when a woman and men are in a relationship and we're talking about, we both go, oh, we're gonna have full transparency. Are they having the same thought of what the fuck that is?
No. We don't. We do it with common language. Like, granted, transparency should be a normal word, but we do it like there are normal words we use in everyday language that we don't have the shared definition for. And I didn't realize that
there's hella words like that.
Yeah, actually. until the
like, just think about the entire dictionary. We don't share the same exact dictionary as women. So men have a different dictionary than women have.
And then internally amongst men, like I'm literally talking about from person to person. Like, I learned that in our the system that we're attempting to build with Grand National, and it's just like, hey man, an engineering term, like, hey, can you fly this over to there? That may not be the proper use of that, and so the engineer would be like, what the fuck do you mean? And now there's tension because you asked the wrong thing, and he's doing what he thought that meant, and you like, this nigga tripping, and then you go learn what that word meant, and you go, man, bro, my bad. Or at least I hope you go back and be like, bro, my bad for tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because it happens, especially in collaborative spaces. You like, bro, why is there so much tension? Why don't more people work together? Why aren't there more groups? Why aren't there more crews? And you find out that simple fucking communication and the stories that people tell themselves when you go, hey Britt, if you would have walked in here and be like, damn, this it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have literally meant like, oh, this is it. And I would have been, oh, she got me fucked up. She came here and dissed my whole setup.
People do need to be mindful of their words. Because I said, did you catch that earlier when I walked in? Because I came in and I was like, oh, this is cute. And I was like, that's going to seem a certain way that I didn't mean
Nah, but only, you know how sick I would have to be to take that and go, she was dissing me?
People do. That's why I literally stopped and was like, fuck, I didn't mean it like that.
Because if the right action is, if I do take it away, go, hey, tell me more, please. But we're not conditioned to do that. I'm not even shooting shots at nobody. That was me at the beginning of the Grand National. This nigga's Dr. Dre for real. He's crazy. I did my verse. He go, hey fam, do that again. You missed this word. Like, nigga, I said I can only say this word so many ways. You want me to do it 20 times? And it's like, by the end of it, the record comes out, and my sister, who don't fuck with music like that on that level, Lisa, I didn't think so, goes, hey man, you sound hella tight on that shit. Like, the first thing she says, it's like, oh, it works if you stop telling yourself a crazy ass story that this person's attacking me.
Yeah.
Or if you go get clarity on language. So when you get to, so then you take it to relationships and trying to be, hey babe, we gonna be transparent in this, nigga. That do not. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, because the story that you're telling yourself is that this person is so fucked up that they're attacking me because they care so much about me. It's like the craziest ego thing. Why do you think I give a fuck about you? I'm trying to make this song.
That's it. That's
it.
Yeah.
You to make you do it 100 times. Like, I'm at home getting off on this. Is the song tight or not? Like, get out the way, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is about us. This is about the song.
So I to that point, to the personal growth work, just in working and collaborating with men, that shit helped me so much. And I, like, my lady and I started dating in that process. And transparency, nigga, I've been saying that word in other relationships, and clearly it was completely using it wrong.
Okay.
Like, abusing the space and all this shit. And so now that I got clarity on what that definition is, what her definition is, that's my nigga. Hey, look here, brother. This is the play right now. And goddamn if it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? But to your question, nope. It was using two different meanings and was finessing that as far as I possibly could.
So let me also ask, specifically to you first, because you're married, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then you next, because you
hey,
in a relationship.
Hey, relax. The way traditions is set up, we got to go back to the motherland. I got some time.
So, do you think that complete transparency is actually what you need? Or do you need to genuinely keep some shit to yourself?
You going first?
I'll go first. I'll jump out the window.
Eh.
At this moment now, where we're at, we need to be completely transparent.
Gotcha.
But
How many years in are you?
married almost 10, but
wow.
we've known each other since high school.
Okay.
So as far as not being all the way transparent. So when she met me in high school, when we went to the same high school, she only knew me for, oh, he's smart. He's in nothing but like AP classes and he's cool. But she didn't know me out of work. So it was like after I got out of school, I have two older brothers that were fully with the shit.
Yeah.
So I would hang out with my friends for about an hour, then I'm getting up with them. Like my oldest brother who's gone now, but like the conversation we had at one point in time was like, look, mom worked 2 jobs to keep the roof over our head, food in our stomachs. You want to get fly? You want to have shit? Then you need to sell this. So that's how it was just weighed out to me. So for years, she didn't know what I was doing. And then when shit started to fall apart, then it was like, hey, nigga, what the fuck is really going on? Because now there's talks of this, there's talks of that. You need to start telling me some shit. Because I'd always be like, oh, no, it's cool. Oh, how'd you get this? Oh, I just did some little bullshit and that's how I got this money. Oh, I bought a whole bunch of Xbox Ones and I sold them. Just random.
Lying.
Yeah, just like. So, but as the relationship grew, and that was a whole nother thing where it took therapy too, because that's how my pops was. He would always hide a lot of shit. So you think that that's the way you're supposed to be, because it's like every man before me in life was like, oh, you do your dirt, hide it, and you only tell your woman so much. And that's not
Like a normal fucking person. I don't know. I don't see what the big deal is here.
Yeah.
Jesus
and
Christ.
That was ruining
Yeah.
everything that me and her had built. So now, at this point we're at now it's just like, let's be fully transparent. And she always would be like 100 with me. That's her problem. Like, she said I grew up so I wouldn't have to lie anymore. That's what she used to always say to me. Like, I like the fact that I'm an adult. I can say exactly how I feel, and you can't tell me shit because I'm a motherfucking adult. So it works better for us being all the way. And sometimes both of us say shit that we really don't want to hear from each other. But at the same time, it's like we respect it, and then we talk about it, and then we move past it.
Is there anything that you feel like, because what I was thinking about when I thought about this was, are there things that you are transparent about that you know are going to be like, damn, that's going to be a little hurtful, right? But in that space, are there things where you're like, it's going to be hurtful, but we need to say it? And then also other things that are like, that probably just may not need to even be said. Like, for the sake of, and I think those things are things that are not that big of a deal, right? So like, more so saving this person's ego or understanding their insecurities. So being like, let me not be completely transparent about that. Like, because that's going to hurt your feelings and it's not necessary. Or are you like, it's all fair game?
Nah, like, there's certain little shit that I ain't gonna say shit, and she probably, like, if I cook something and she thinks it's nasty, she ain't gonna just straight up tell me, oh, that shit was hella nasty. But she will hit me with the, yeah, I don't think we should make that recipe no more.
Not that way.
Yeah, not.
She told you it was nasty.
Yeah.
In so many words.
In so many words,
It
but she's just.
it sounds like just picking and choosing
Yeah.
like
So
your
that's
battles.
a 10-year-long marriage relationship. How does that work for how long you and your girl been together?
Relax, fam. Numbers is weird, man. You know.
No,
how that
that's
can
what
go.
it doesn't matter.
Depending on
You're
who you
right.
ask. You know what I'm saying? No, but
He's like,
Who
according
you
to
ask?
her.
depending on who you ask. No, so
That's dope, though.
the transparency shit is just like, you don't need to tell everybody everything. However, seriously, I wholeheartedly believe that shit. Like, you just out, like, because I think that was you that said it, it's like, depending on traumas and issues and shit like that. Like it's just being mindful of stuff and compartmentalizing, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to go fast on this topic right now. But what I will say is in the space of just trying to grow, like just trying to become the best. I learned this shit being with him, but him and Poe, like literally in the beginning of trying to learn how to make beats, them niggas would pull up every Friday and sit in there and listen to trash. Like, yeah, bro, that ain't it. that ain't him. And yo,
I don't know that I have the wherewithal to be sharpened against Larry. You had to be great, cause like to be sharpened against this nigga, yo, like.
But it wasn't. It wasn't money. You trash. It was like, nah. That's just, hey, keep working, bro. Let's keep going. But I realized it was in that process because it was. I had just moved back home. I was going through hella. What I now know was depression and a whole bunch of slew of like internals, like insecurities and shit. I needed them
transition.
I needed them more than I could even imagine. But what I learned in that process was like, oh damn, I need my partner to operate with that same level of freedom of communicating with me, so that I remain accountable. And it also feels like a lot to ask from somebody to be like, yo, check me when I'm on my shit, because niggas respond sensitive all the time. Like shut down and not talk, but. If my claim is like, yo, I want to become better, he got to be able to check me. He got to be able to check me. Got to be able to check me. There is no way possible I could justify giving my niggas that freedom and not my lady. That's crazy. So that's where the shift came. But in turn, because what has usually been the demise of my relationships is suppression of feedback, so that we can be better together. Like, yo, this is what I need. But in a certain time, you like, oh, but damn, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. Is it the language? And then you go, well, no, I'm pretty good at delivery and not talking to people crazy. I know how I said that. Like, so for anything to be taken out of context or taken as an attack isn't always like I just have poor delivery. Is like, nah, that person hasn't signed on for getting better together, because that same information is cool from everybody else. A movie or something, it's like, hey, there you go. But I sound like a fucking asshole. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, well, can we sign up together about like showing up for each other? Like, hey, Teen and I, we got to check in shit. It's like, hey, I need to check in for real. Like, I need you to say that, so it ain't texting, I'm on the phone doing no. Shut everything off, my nigga. I'm about to dump, and I need you to retain it all real quick. And I had to ask for that, because the one thing I don't respond well to, and this is something I need to work on, but what I don't respond well to is you pissed me off 2 weeks ago, and now because you forgot to get me something to drink, I'm like,
gotcha.
I have not mastered the art of not tripping over compounding issue. I promise to God I'm working on it, but luckily she don't do it, and she just like immediately like nah, my nigga. Like yesterday, I woke up and was just on one the whole day, like the whole day, and it was like the first break of the pod at Soul Space was the first time I talked to her all day, and she like, my nigga, look here. I'm like, no, you got that, because I've been on one all day. Like, I'm not even tripping, but I was like, fuck, I'm so glad she felt good saying it in real time, so I didn't have to have this conversation 3 weeks. Just like, are you good? Because we got a routine. Like, if we don't see each other, we tap in. Like yo, what you want today? Like, we didn't talk with no communication at all, text, and then but it wasn't like, where you at? Like, no, do you need anything for real, bro? And I'm like, oh damn, no, I'm good. I'm straight. But say that shit.
That's a beautiful way for her to ask that question, though, as opposed to where you at. Hey, are you okay? Do you need something?
Do you need something?
Yeah.
It's damn near where you at though. But
that's going to be received better.
Yeah.
And it's really not the same question, because I think that there's so many ways in which really great women will understand like how to support you. Yeah. And even the littlest shit of like, oh, I see you building. So like, hey, are you hungry? Let me take care of that for you.
Yeah.
Like that's a very different attitude than where are you at? Because that's a I'm worried about my needs being taken care of versus my question is I want to make sure your needs are taken care of.
Yep. Yep.
So shout out to her. Shout out to you.
Did you?
Another thing I wanted to say real quick was with the way me and her communicate, if we have a problem, we can't text it to each other. Because both of us notice we read texts wrong.
No, everybody does. That nigga
Nah,
yelled
we
at
re-
me.
we read it to the 12th wrong. So the text can come off. You can try to use all the kind words, but nah, the only thing you getting back is a call with hella spice. So we just figured out, let's just call. And on top of that, it's going to be a quicker conversation. And I hate texting. For me, unless it's a quick,
Yeah.
what's the address or something like that. But when niggas want to talk whole business with me through text message, like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a video done. And this is what I was thinking. See, what? Nah, bro, you can just call me up for this. So that's the other thing.
That's the
Trying to give you homework for that, bro?
that literally is the transparency thing for me is that text literally I've spent times drafting and I hate doing it long text, but making sure that nothing could be misinterpreted as like Monty's mad, got an attitude, nothing like, and then still somebody be like, bruh, my bad if I offended you. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, so that those definitions for real, like, I think that the pandemic and just the time and reconnecting with a lot of people too allowed for going, like, finding it within me to like offer a lot more grace and a lot more space and patience for people, our collective understanding of words and how we misappropriate and misuse them all the time in spaces, especially and I don't want to say especially, but it feels like that is a normal existence amongst Black folks. Like we'll take words and just apply them to shit where they're not applicable, and then be ultra upset when a need isn't met or someone doesn't show up the way you thought they should because you thought you asked directly, and it's like, nah, bruh, and so it's I as a conscious choice has been like, slow down, check me first, be a little bit more accountable before immediately getting out attitude or immediately meeting it with any sort of pushback, because it's just another step. It's just asking yourself another question so you can ask the right question and get clarity, as opposed to just assuming. Because so I realized how much of my own personal life was lived in assumption. Oh, this person is going to do this. Oh, my lady thinks this, or she feels this way. No, nigga, you can ask. But it potentially means getting an answer that you don't want. So it does come back to me in the avoidance, and so yeah, it's a lot of shit. Still got a lot of work to do, but this is all new. It's all real new.
Yeah, I think like transparency and clarity of self goes a long way with like being able to then transfer that over to someone else. Because a lot of times the reason why you're not transparent is going to be for someone else's, like, trying to protect someone else is what you would utilize as like your excuse for not doing so. But it's truthfully, in a way, is protecting the fuck out of yourself. So the more transparent you can become about yourself, the better you can actually relay that. Now, what you have to deal with also is that folks that want transparency but don't truly want transparency. So you also got to deal with that part, because like you can say that you want transparency till you blue in the face, but do you really want it? You know what I mean? Because transparency means that you get all information. That means like when they say something to you, best believe it wasn't for your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't have your feelings with the first thing involved. You know what I mean? If you want me to think with your feelings involved initially, then it's no longer transparent. You know what I mean? Now it has some buffering to it. You know what I mean? So that's just a thing to think about when it comes to like people talking about transparency. Do you want full disclosure, or do you want just to hear the word transparency? You know what I mean? Like, does that word just sound good to you as opposed to the actual action of it?